Hello and welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and my non-binary friends. I am Sharogan, your friendly neighborhood shoutcaster, and I have joining me today Torres. How you doing, Torres?
I'm doing all right, man. Ready to get into this game.
Ready to get in? I'm totally ready to get into this game. After the last game, I was so... Oh, man. I'm going to talk about that in the lounge for sure. That game. Oh, so good in so many different ways. But let's go ahead and just hop into this. We got In the Trees versus FEC. 5-2 versus the 4-3. Pretty evenly matched teams. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Not really sure where my money is right at the moment. Just right off looking at these bans. Really sad seeing the Tarek Sejuani ban. Not going to lie. Because you lose the sexy man, your Fabio. But let's just hop into these picks right here.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like Falcon Esports has done their homework. Banning out Sejuani, one of Bo Explode's most favorite champions, banning out Broccoli's favorited top laner, Camille, and just throwing in the Tark in there for a little bit of spice. But it seems like INT doesn't really care and just picks up the Gragas pick they seem to like a lot on Bo Explode.
They really do. We've been seeing a lot of Gragas lately on jungle side. It's not like the most common pick, but it has been popping out every once in a while. I do like the Fiddlesticks just because we haven't seen too much of it, but it's just an absolutely terrifying beast on the map if you play it correctly.
Yeah, a little bit unorthodox, but it is a viable option. I think LS has actually said that during the patch where all the junglers were it's Hecarim, Udyr, and Lilia and all those things in the being played in competitive, that Fiddlesticks is still a viable jungler. And you can really see that playing with, if there's a lack of vision control, especially at this level, I feel like Fiddlesticks will just take over a fight.
Yeah, it definitely can, especially if you don't have that vision. And that's really like what I think FEC's shown a lot of coordination in these past couple of games that I think their anti-vision game would be on point, especially against a team like In the Trees, and something to look forward to. We're seeing a Gangplank and a Lulu come out on the side of In the Trees. Both of those make me want to cry.
Yeah, I mean, Wu did get some buffs this patch. We'll see where they go. I'm guessing with INT, it's going to be some sort of hyper-scaling ADC, probably something like the Vayne, or maybe the Jinx. We'll see. FEC is probably going to target ban the ADCs, as INT still hasn't picked an ADC as well. In the second rotation, the bans is going to come through, but we'll see what's left up to help to synergize with the Lulu.
Yeah, and how does that Malphite Gangplank matchup work, do you think?
Honestly, I think the Malphite Gangplank matchup, I honestly don't know. I don't play a lot of top lane. I can assume it's just a stable thing. You just kind of handshake, kind of get to late. Of course, Gangplank has harass early with the Q, probably just farming up as much as he can. He'll probably end up going the Bruiser build rather than the crit build against this, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and in theory, Malphite actually could be a flex pick. It could be moved to support, and they can pick a different top laner, because we are seeing In the Trees target ban the support as of right now, while FEC decided to target ban the mid laner rather than the ADC. So that's kind of an interesting choice, I think, especially because Gangplank can also flex mid or top, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting that Falcon has decided to ban out the mid laner. Yes, I mean, if you see it, Evolved Noob being like a worse player, you can ban him out, as they're banning basically two of his most favorite champions, but they're still leaving the TF, which can do a lot of cross-map plays. From recent memory, I know that Evolved Noob plays the Syndra, the Orianna, and the TF. Those three are still, one of the three is still open, and unless they're picking that, I really thought the banning of the ADCs would have been more beneficial, as there's less ADCs that pair with Lulu.
It probably would have been their primo picks, most likely, but it definitely seems like we might actually be seeing Malphite going mid. Maybe they just are trying to target ban stuff that he would have trouble playing against, but you're right. Just you eliminate the target pool of Evolved Noob. You kind of try and whittle that down as much as possible. I'm kind of like the way these team comps are coming out. I'm not exactly like I'm liking In the Trees as more so far. Though I do like what FEC has the potential to pull out.
Yeah, I really like what's happening here. I mean, from FEC, I feel like their comp right now is more of just this mid-game kind of like skirmish / engage like teamfight comp. Whereas INT is like, it can play for picks, it can also it plays for late game scale. It just play for cross-map plays. Gangplank can just farm on the sideline while actually still being kind of useful to that teamfight with his ultimate. And INT has more versatility in their comp, while FEC is more of just a one-way ticket.
It really is. And then you see the Cassiopeia pick up at the last point. That's going to be such a devastating thing for FEC to face because they have so many people with different movement abilities. You drop that miasma on the ground, and they're just going to be stuck in place. So you can essentially shut down Ezreal, Malphite, and like you can shut down 4 out of the 5 members on FEC just by putting that miasma on the ground because Ezreal can't escape, Fiddlesticks can't engage, and then Malphite and Alistar are both in the exact same boat.
Yeah, but I mean, even with that, as we were talking about the Cassiopeia, the Veigar is actually picked up for R5, and I actually really like that pick being up. I mean, they already have a lot of engage, but FEC, they actually have an option to not only keep them corralled due to the lack of mobility from INT now, but also just kind of play a little bit of zone control and able way to get out of these fights that go wrong.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to... Haps is going to have to basically pull out all the stops on that Veigar, make sure he gets as many of them in the cage as possible. With that, I think we're ready to hop onto the Rift and actually see how this whole game plays out. So... I'm not expecting anything too crazy like here. No early level 1 invades. We're probably just getting that 5-man fan and whatnot. I am kind of thinking that we're going to see a little bit more play in the mid lane this game, just because that's going to be the easier lane to gank, and we're probably going to see it coming out from, my expectation would be Gragas, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, I expect both junglers to just go through a full clear. Bo Explode isn't known from just doing a couple, like, the standard blue-red Gromp and going to gank a lane. He normally just full clears no matter what the champion is, and something I want to point out is that he actually opted to take the red smite instead of the blue smite, which is a little peculiar.
Every time we get an Alistar, every time, it's always Moo Alistar, and it's always that dang cowbell.
Yeah, I mean, some people just buy the skin. I'd buy the skin for him just for the play of this match. All the support should have that skin.
Yeah, that should have been the free Alistar skin rather than black Alistar, but or what was it, like Unchained Alistar?
I think it's Unchained. Definitely not black
Unchained.
Alistar.
Well, I was, yeah.
$1,000 skin? No way.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so just kind of seeing how things are going. Like I said, I honestly think this top lane is going to go in the way of the Gangplank. Just once he starts getting his barrels out, it's going to be so much trouble for Malphite just because he can drop that behind the wave. I hate Gangplank so much. It's so frustrating.
It really is, but the problem with Gangplank early is that you rarely have your barrels up to be able to do that and do the poke. And I think Malphite took a wise choice. Instead of taking the Undying Grasp, where he's never going to be like in range to auto attack, he took Comet so he can fight back.
Yeah, getting that extra burst of damage once he hits him with the Q, because that Q, it's a point and click, so you're always going to hit. Boom, right there, exactly. He's already got him down almost to half health. We do have Kenny Hammerspike, though, going in on Paytime, who is not in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean...
in the top lane? My brain is breaking. I thought we saw Paytime in the top lane a couple of times.
No. It looks like the INT is establishing pressure on the bot side of the map fairly early, just chunking out the Ezreal.
Yeah, well, especially, we've already got, kind of interestingly enough, Brock Lee is already pushed in top lane. Bot lane's pushed in as well, so that's leaving no gank opportunities really for Gragas, like I was thinking. But we do have Fiddlesticks starting to work their way towards the bot side of the map. He might be coming in for a level 4 or level 3 gank, maybe, hopefully.
He might.
I would love some.
Yeah, we would definitely love some. Maybe a little tower dive that goes wrong. But I mean,
Nope.
It looks like
got a Vayne actually coming to spot this out, and it might actually be, we're getting exactly what I want, but we're just going to get a little bit of a fight. Oh, but we do have a collapse. Alistar coming up behind Vayne and Lulu. He's getting pushed back into lane, though, as Ezreal's coming up around the side as well. So they're just going to watch him take those buffs.
Yeah, I mean, Alistar kind of just threatening a flank, but I mean, INT's bot lane. Get a little punished on the way back to lane, but...
Yeah, just a little punish, Look at that Ezreal damage. It's real damage. Yep. Oh, here we go. Like I said, we've got Wild West Wild coming in, walking into the lane. Obviously, they know he's coming, though, so they're just going to walk away, but...
Yeah, you can see Bo explode. The jungler's really just opting for their full clears, as we said earlier, and now they're just going for the grab. Not really seeing any gank opportunities.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting this whole thing to be a very, like, kind of trading back and forth, kind of even game until probably the first Drake goes down, and then we're going to see a little bit more action going on.
Yeah, definitely when you see these junglers getting their ultimates, they'll probably be ganking a lot more, especially the Fiddlesticks, looking for unique angles, probably with their bot lane or their... actually, anywhere on the map. all the lanes have pretty good setup for the Fiddlesticks to get an ult and the fear off, and whoever gets hit by that's probably just dead.
Very much so. I'm so looking forward to once Fiddlesticks is actually able to become the terror that we want him to be on that rift, because honestly his vision control is really interesting. I love the way that they designed his kit on his rework. Obviously it's kind of who he is now, but it's just everything about new-ish Fiddlesticks I like. Right here we got Bow Explode going in right now, getting a lot of damage on Haps, but is not able to take him down. That's going to be the Corrupting Potion popped. While Fiddlesticks is hanging out over by the top as well.
Yeah, Bow Explode getting a kind of a little chunk on the Malphite, just kind of backing off afterwards, not really getting much done as Wild Rust is already gone and taking a reset. So he's a little bit ahead of Bow Explode in that regard. Would have liked to see a threatened dive staying around for that wave, but I mean, maybe they had saw the Fiddlesticks. I'm not very sure if the Vision Cone saw that, but if you did see the Fiddlesticks, it was a good back.
Yeah, it was definitely a good back. There didn't see him before. Wild was Wild is getting a very nice flank. This is going to be at least a forced flash coming out from Brock Lee. He's just going to chase him down, walking right alongside him. There comes the flash and the double flash coming out, but the heal and the orange coming out from Brock Lee to survive.
Yeah, Brock Lee, you could see him just waiting for the Fiddlesticks to throw out the fear so we could orange it, but it got pretty close, not going to lie.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot closer than I expected it to be. And I think right now what we want is probably, if I were Wildest Wild, I'd help him push that wave up, force it under tower, because you know that you've got full health Gangplank coming back. Let's see, on that buy, he got himself a Sheen. That's going to, and a pair of boots.
Yeah, but you can see the classic INT. The jungler shows up top lane, and the opposing jungler just hops on the dragon. You can see Bow Explode trying to solo it right now.
Yeah, honestly, Gragas and Fiddlesticks, I think, I don't know if Fiddlesticks could solo it at level 5, but Gragas easily able to do it, easily able to sneak it. It's going to be a little risky afterwards, because it looks like we might be having a collapse.
Yeah, kind of sniffing something out, maybe just trying to get some vision control while they have lane dominance built lanes, but it's a little too late.
Little too late, Gragas going to hop over the wall, be really safe, yeah. All right, so as this game is slowly unfolding, it has been very much a traditional professional bout, in the sense that they're just kind of handshaking it across the map, you know, as you say, because it's been 6 minutes and we haven't had a single fight yet, which for our the Heroic League is very rare.
Yeah, we're 7 minutes in, first Drake's been taken, no fights, everybody's just playing standard, and you can see that actually only the top laners and the junglers have actually gone back. The mid laners, ADC, and the support have all just stayed in lane as their items are still the starting items from the beginning of the game.
And we've already, just looking at the top lane, so poor Malphite is 22 CS to the 49, so he's already got half. Oh, that is a nice flash coming out of Bow Explode. That is going to be a lot of damage, and a barrel coming out to get the kill and first blood.
Yeah, I mean, really quick on the uptake. Bow Explode involved Noob, noticing that Veigar is just a little bit too far pushed up, immediately flashes on and punishes the Veigar. Senses that the flash is just a little bit too late. If he were to flash, maybe still end up dying, decides to save it.
Yeah, and up until that point, Camel Basil and Evolved Noob were both kind of even in lane, but at this point, that's actually going to put Evolved Noob up ahead, because you got that assist gold, plus the same number of CS. So that's going definitely in their way. Haps is still... He doesn't quite have his Kindle Gem and taking a lot of damage from Brock Lee's ranged auto attacks.
He's taking a lot of damage, but I mean, it looks like Falcon Esports is kind of looking to threaten him by roaming up.
We've already got Beshiwap going on an engage. There's no flash on this poor Gangplank. He's having to drop the ultimate. He's already used one of the oranges. That is a huge fear coming out as well. The Ignite, that is a lot of resources expended on Brock Lee, but they are not quite able to take him down. But there is no TP, so it'll take him a little bit to get back to lane.
Yeah, I mean, a good look from Falcon Esports just to end up pushing Brock Lee out of lane. It looks like they're going to take the Herald now, but I mean, a little bit of a misplay, too. A lot of CC stacked, and Wild West just didn't want to ult for the kill.
Yeah, a lot of CS, no ult. I think he didn't want to just because he probably could have to get the kill, but he wasn't going to be able to get the fear off because he'd already been spotted. So my theory is he wants to save it for that gank opportunity whenever Gangplank comes back.
Yeah, I guess just making him feel a little bit safer, knowing he has no flash in the next dive, possible dive. But I mean, in the end, do force him out of lane, do get the Rift Herald, and overall up goal.
Yep, we're seeing everyone right now. I do like Beshiwap's proactivity right now, how he's not gone back to the bot lane still. He's just crossing the middle of the map, kind of saying hello to the Veigar, hand waving the Evolved Noob, and then just working his way downtown.
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal can just kind of stay within EXP range with his long-range Q, just poking out the minion waves. His INT is kind of just frozen in the lane where they want it. Which is it's fairly good since Beshiwap went up to the top side of the map, and Ezreal just he's still staying ahead.
Yeah, and then once again, Beshiwap going ahead doing some anti-vision, trying to make it easy for the Fiddlesticks to come gank, and I have a feeling he's probably going to go for blue buff first, and then head straight down to that bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see a little bit more aggression from Falcon Esports on the bot side of the map. Maybe set up some wards where Malphite can TP in when he does have that TP, move your Fiddlesticks, move your mid laner. Because if this Vayne starts scaling up to late, the Falcon Esports is going to have a really hard time even with all their engage.
They really are. Beshiwap is obviously looking for that engage, hanging out in the side lane with the Fiddlesticks. They were hoping to get them to push up just a little bit more. Fiddle is looking for... He's just going in, not actually ulting. I'm kind of surprised there.
I mean, it was clean from Kenny, just with that condemn. A little bit of miscommunication from He Who Slaps as well. You're trying to use the ultimate to knock up the Alistar on the way in, but...
And poor Camel Basil taking a little bit of damage, is just getting forced out of lane, though. They're just kind of... I liked how Bo was just sitting there right at the entrance, just kind of being like, is he coming back? I don't think he's coming back. But he gets knocked up under tower. He's going to get kind of locked in right there. Bo is in a really bad spot. We have to have Evolved Noob come in to save him. The auto attack is going to come out, though, and that's going to be a kill for Camel Basil. This is Evolved Noob diving Camel Basil under the tower. That is going to be the poison stacks, not quite able to take him down, though, as Beshiwap manages to peel for him.
I mean, Evolved Noob just thought the play was over. Goes over to get some vision on the top side of the jungle, and Beshiwap just makes the roam over. 2v1. Knocks Bo Explode underneath the tower and really just runs him over. Camel Basil barely escaping, but picking up the kill.
I think at this point in the trees needs to realize that bot lane is now a 2v1, and Beshiwap is going to go wherever the hell he wants.
Falcon Esports has unlocked their second jungler.
The moo cow has started to roam. He's just going to go grazing wherever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, that really is the advantage in the early game when it comes to this. The Enchanter support will normally just stay in their lane, try to keep the ADC alive, trying to just spoon-feeding your ADC, while as Alistar and the mobility supports will just be the facilitator and just go around in the other lanes and help the jungler out.
Exactly. That's definitely the way to have it go. Beshiwap deciding to go for a side vision, maybe a flank, looping around behind them as Kenny Hammerspike is about... Ooh, we're about to get something spicy. Wild hanging out on the top side of the map. He Who Slaps knows something's up, does get knocked up, does try to shield themselves, but that's immediately gone. That is a huge ult coming out from Fiddlesticks, but that is going to be a dodge by He Who Slaps to avoid the Ezreal ulti and stay alive.
I mean, we're seeing the pressure from Falcon Esports pay dividends.
We are, and look at this. There is a lot of damage as Camel Basil just decides to go down, but Evolved Noob just spews out that poison.
Yeah, I mean, Camel just goes in. Looks like what's going to be a favorable trade, but I mean, kind of comes back to bite him.
This game was going very slow up until right now, and now it looks like things have started to heat up. That is a blue team stealing the Drake as Bo Explode manages to get the smite off, and we're leaving because I think there was a fight still continuing. Okay, so right here they're setting up for the dragon, trying to sneak it. They've got the control ward down, the TP coming in, Bo Explode getting off his damage right there, the ultimate coming out, but doesn't quite actually. Wild West Wild is not able to get his smite off in time.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good steal, and it's also really easy from an outsider and just look at that saying, oh, Fiddlesticks just missed the smite. But with the amount of health that Drake had and the amount of burst that Gragas has at this level with these items, it's really hard to land that smite. Because if you combo that with the Drunken Rage, with the auto attack, that's effectively, with your smite, that's effectively 800 damage. Whereas Fiddlesticks can only do about 540 with this true smite.
True. I meant it more in the sense of like he was getting bounced around by the...
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I think it was more of...
He was out here getting bodied.
Exactly. Getting bodied like that is just going to throw off your concentration, and you're going to lose track of that health bar more than likely. All right, up in the top lane. Honestly, I kind of expect Broccoli to dive this just because it is Gangplank, and that is a low enough Malphite that it could be happening here. We're just going to get a couple of barrels set up, and he's probably going to drop one down.
I expect Broccoli to extend this laning phase as much as he can. He's just soaking up these waves, kind of just... Wild West is doing a great job of pressuring the bot side of the map, but he's not really necessarily getting anything done. Broccoli is kind of having a heyday.
He really is. We've got a wild Ezreal ulti coming to the top lane, and it's going to just completely miss. Broccoli is getting bodied right now, knocked up by the Alistar, silenced by the Fiddlesticks, and Beshiwap takes the kill.
Oh my god. Broccoli said, "Pump it up." This man is just bouncing up and down. You take your eyes off Beshiwap for a second. He's just all the way behind you.
I know. It's like, it literally is a second jungler at this point in time. You might as well have Smite.
Yeah, I mean, INT's bot lane's doing a good job. I mean, they're catching these waves, but I mean, at this point, they haven't gotten that many turret plates, and they're kind of just scaling to wait.
But a nice fight right here as Cassiopeia getting caught out, taking a lot of damage from Camel Basil as Camel Basil takes him down.
I mean, Beshiwap just adding another one to the scoreboard. Camel Basil just with the damage, just helping it. Like, oh, you have one on the hook? He just nukes him.
Exactly. With the way things have been playing out, it's not going quite as far in the trees as I was expecting, especially this mid lane, Evolved Noob versus Camel Basil. Cassiopeia has been getting Veigar low consistently, but is not been able to secure that kill. And it's, I think, a great testament for Camel Basil's plays right now. And once again, we got another Beshiwap going in, knocking up the poor Kenny Hammersmark. Kenny does have to flash, but it's not going to be enough. He's already feared by Wild West Wild.
I mean, Falcon Esports is really just not letting up.
Yep, and look at this. We got Hughes Slaps trying to finish off Beshiwap, but Beshi just kind of walks away.
Yeah, I mean, it's just heartbreak for INT. Your top, they literally ganked all 3 lanes in the last 2 minutes. Top lane goes down, then Beshiwap walks down, they get another pick off mid, and then they dive the ball lane. It's just rinse and repeat on these kills, Beshiwap facilitating these plays, and really just leading his team around on a leash.
It really is. It's kind of like everyone is following the cow right now. They're just listening for that cowbell, and it's like, oh, it's going to top lane. Let's go top lane.
That's the alarm. It means kill, man.
Exactly. It's too bad that In the Trees isn't hearing it, the warning bells going off as the poor Alistair just walks up. That wave clear from Gragas and from Gangplank, it blows my mind. It really does at this point in time. It's like the lanes don't exist for them.
Yeah, I mean, INT is kind of just playing for their normal win condition, which they play around, which is late game scaling if they don't find early picks where they've already stacked these early Drakes. We'll probably end up seeing a fight from Falcon Esports for this third Drake, but until then, we'll probably just see Beshiwap roam around the map.
We will, and once again, Beshiwap is just hanging out up here in the top lane. He's sitting in that tri-brush with the control ward. I feel like Broccoli suspects something, just based on history. He's like, wait, I got warning bells. Something's up. Something's going on. Oh, I was right. There he is. There's the cow.
Definitely was sniffing something out. I mean, looks like Bo Explode, noticing he's late to the play, is just gonna go for a little bit more of counter jungle, whereas the second Herald, they're kind of just being taken here. But Broccoli needs to be careful. I mean, with 3 members up here and them taking up the Herald, they can easily just dive him.
Exactly. Kenny Hammerspike is trying to get that first turret. They are able to do it. And I feel like what's going to happen here is we've got Rift Herald down. The rest of FEC is probably just going to go straight for Drake at this point. We've got the bot lane backing, so that's going to leave Cassiopeia and Gragas kind of out to dry here.
Yeah, I mean, they're caught in an awkward spot. I mean, they took a little bit of late recalls. The team's kind of just taking a uncoordinated back, but it looks like Falcon Esports has already taken their backs and transitioned perfectly from the Herald, put it down for the mid pressure, so INT's kind of in this choke point where they have to fight the Drake and they have to clear the mid lane first. And now they're just turning out to the Dragon.
And you have the TP from Gangplank coming out to the mid lane to get him a little bit closer just so he's able to respond, but with more than just his ulti. The Drake is getting bursted down. Beshiwap is waiting for Gragas to jump over the wall. There it is. He jives in, but does not manage to stop the smite as blue team steals the Ocean Drake.
Sherrigan, they can't keep getting away with this.
God. That was, Bo Explode has just been on point. We have seen so many Drake steals come out from this man. Look at that, diving under tower onto the Broccoli. That was a good flash to escape, doesn't actually get the kill.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, all INT could do was really go for the steal. You could see it in their eyes as Broccoli was just sitting there farming the mid wave, trying to kill that Herald. But I mean, I feel like Falcon should have known. They didn't even try to attempt to pull out the Drake. It was a little bit overconfidence, and now INT's on sole point.
It was a little over. Looked like they tried to pull it out a little bit, and they did have Beshi on the bot to try and knock him out and keep him from being able to smite, but it just wasn't enough. They really needed to have vision on the other side because I think that they were basically just reacting as soon as he jumped over the wall.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you can't just rely on that with the Night Harvester Gragas. The damage is too much. Your jungler will get outsmited every time.
every single time. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Right now we've got pay time in the mid lane. Probably just going to push this out, try and get themselves a mid turret. They got a decent amount of damage from that Rift Herald earlier, but it wasn't really like significant in my opinion.
Yeah, it wasn't really significant. I mean, it was more just to pressure them, and it worked. It did put Broccoli in the mid lane. INT was forced to send someone there, and it essentially would have been a 4v5 if they were actually fought. But I mean, didn't pull the Drake, didn't end up getting the Drake, and now it's just for nothing.
Exactly. We do have what looks like another gank setup right here with Wild Was Wild just hanging out in the wings. He's got the ward up to kind of like make them think that that's where he is. I don't know. We're going to see how this plays out here momentarily. It looks like they're just going to shove in the mid wave.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Falcon is just trying to get as much golden experience as they can before INT and ends up going on to get their fourth Drake. If the story continues of BoExplode securing these dragons.
I swear. So, well, first Drake they snuck. Second, 2 Drakes they stole. It's just been absolutely ridiculous. Like, honestly.
I would like to see Wild West steal 3 Drakes in a row, but, you know, we'll see how this pans out and if it gets to that far.
That we definitely will. All right, so with the way things are playing out right now, it's funny. So in the trees definitely has the objectives where they've got 2 Drakes or 2 towers and 3 Drakes, while in the meantime FEC is winning by kills. In terms of team fighting potential, though, I feel like in the trees is just in a better position right now.
I'd like to disagree with that. I feel like if you take a look at the ADC items, that pay time's actually a whole item up on Kenny. Despite having the Lulu, the amount of space that Falcon can give Ezreal, not only can Ezreal peel himself, but the amount of space he can get to auto attack and throw Qs from a distance is just going to heavily outdamage INT's fight. And unless he gets exploded from like the beginning of the fight, I really don't see the fight going in INT's favor.
Really don't, unless you get something like this where Camel Basil is caught out, has to flash. We've got Broccoli right now walking through the cage, using an orange to try to just ignore the CC. He's just basically kind of walking up on this poor little Yordle.
He's run!
He can really
run!
do. He's just waddling away, trying to escape. Come on, you poor little man.
He's got a
getting shot. He's got the root down, uses another orange and a cage. Look at this man go.
Oh, Lord, he's out.
We got the fancy feet on this Camel Basil, and what's great is it wasn't even movement speed.
I'm gonna need the hops per second on this man. He's got to be wearing black Air Force Ones. This guy is a menace.
Something like that. I could just imagine the song he's listening to, like that. It's like just as he's walking along. Oh man, if I was Broccoli, I'd be very upset right now.
I'd be very upset right now. You got to deal with the Veigar you use. You got to deal with the Everfrost. I think he walked into 3 of the Veigar cages. I mean, you have the damage, but can you catch him? The answer is no.
Absolutely not. The stacking of CC by Camel Basil during that chase is actually how you have to deal with a gangplank anyway, and it's kind of funny because usually you only have 1 or 2 people with CC, so Veigar able to do it by himself is just hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting close to this dragon spawning. It looks like, oh my god, you see these Ezreal damage I was talking about earlier.
Ooh! Ooh! I just got some chills right there from that.
Hey, bro, you got chills? I think INT did. You're not expecting that.
Kenny Hammerspike taking a lot of damage as we've once again got another Drake, and it's gonna be this is gonna be, if Bo steals this, I swear.
They're pulling it! They're doing it!
They've pulled it out, but they don't have vision in that side brush, and they've allowed BoExplode to get right on top of the Drake, so they're probably looking to just take this fight rather than the Drake itself.
Man, I mean, Haps is just going to have to look for the great ult. You see Beshiwab just going in after. I mean, it's just going to be a dog pile. If anyone gets stepped out of position, INT is just going to get killed instantly.
It's so true, and I love Broccoli knowing that Fiddlesticks is on the other side of that wall, dropping the blind barrel, but not able to actually hit anything. Wild was Wild hanging out. He's in the perfect position. Usually you don't want to be over wall. Ooh, this ult is coming in here shortly. I thought that was the charge.
Oh.
Right there. And Wild was Wild just hanging out. God, the tease.
He's chilling.
The tension. I feel like
mean,
the sword versus spear fight earlier in the day where they were just like bouncing around. What is this? The third time they've started the Drake?
I mean, it's been about 30 seconds. It seems INT has realized their power levels just relinquish the dragon to a higher power.
They're relinquishing the dragon. They're like, fine, go ahead and take the Drake. We're going for Baron. Screw y'all. We're going home.
I mean, a lot of damage, but I mean, Falcon is pretty wise on this. I mean, another Ezreal ulti. 2 damage. Look. It's just not enough.
That one Ezreal ulti taking 3 members of INT down to half health.
Look at that. Now, I think Falcon might even try to start the Baron.
Dude, if I was Falcon, that's exactly what I would do. I would totally go for the Baron right now, and I would basically be like, look, you guys were teasing us all the time over that. Right, the bow explode goes in for that. That was a great cage, but he got knocked back by Alistar, so unfortunately, hurts his teammate. Evolved Noob putting in the work. Look at this. Camel Basil taking a lot of damage. The ulti by Fiddlesticks coming out. That is a lot of damage. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It is absolutely insane. They're not going to be able to do the actual Baron. Oh, what? No. Prove me wrong, please. Thank you.
Just do the Baron. I mean, 4 members dead on INT. I mean, let's take a look at that fight again.
Oh my god, this thing was insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, so we start off where they're just kind of setting up the fight. We know it's coming. Bo is ready to just come in and steal this Baron like he's done all those Drakes before. Doesn't have a lot of vision. So, oh, this is a blind jump, and he sees them. He jumps into just to see what's going on. Oh my goodness, look at that ult combo.
Oh my god, I mean, a Bow Explode just trying to make it work for the team, but Haps with a great look just flashes and dives the back line. Totally on point.
That was a beautifully timed Malphite ulti on the back line to just finish him off. And we, like you said, Evolved Noob was putting out so much damage, but they were able to just shut him down. And poor Bow Explode just jumping in at the absolute worst possible time.
I mean, you could really see the pressure. That's pressure and just INT just falling to it. I mean, Falcon Esports, they know they're strong. They in INT definitely felt it with this Ezreal damage. They were chicked down before this at the Drake, at the Baron again. Eventually just forced into a choke. Bow Explode gets desperate, jumps in alone. And I mean, INT members are just going in one by one, just none the wiser. You see Evolved Noob just kind of just walking in there, throwing down all his spells, kind of just spraying the ground with it, and eventually just screeches and dies out. I mean, as soon as he's gone, the backline is just gone. Haps just jumps on it.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing to stop Haps from getting onto that and just absolutely bursting them down. I think this is actually one of the reasons why FEC is such a team to be feared, because their coordination has just been so on point and has done so much work that a play like that, they were able to pressure in the trees, force them to make a misplay, and really without even trying. Look at this, Beshiwap is just kind of taunting them right off to the side.
Yeah, I mean, as one of our older teams, INT just kind of like known for having better macro, known for having a little bit better communication than other teams. It's just not showing up this season. It seems like the newer blood is just showing out.
Ooh, did you see the fancy feet on Paytime during that?
Paytime he doesn't care, man. Like, he's bodying 3 fools by himself.
You know, in all honesty, he is an all-star. Like, he's just here to get paid, put on a show. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he's here for.
He's just bodying them, man. He's got his boys in the back. He fears no one. Looks like Evolved Noob is getting dove right now, actually.
We've got 3 going down here on the bot lane. That is a nice root coming out from Veigar. Lots of damage coming out from Cassiopeia, but it's not enough as that... Look at the tankiness on Alistar. Jeez.
Put an R rating on it, man. I can't watch.
Put an R rating on it every time he uses that R? Absolutely agreed. That is going to be an easy bot turret taken down.
Yeah, I mean, with the Baron, Evolved Noob really has no business farming that wave. It's just one outer. Give it up. Farm the wave after. You're not safe. And I mean, felt the front end of it.
Exactly. And I think it was a situation where he didn't even realize that Beshi was sitting up behind the wall right there. And just like Haps doesn't realize that Bo is sitting behind the wall right here. Goes right on top of him. Going to get a decent amount of damage, but he's just going to ult out and be safe.
I mean, it's a good look. Getting a little, you're damaging the Malphite. I mean, he doesn't have any MR. You do quite a bit of damage, but I mean, you force an ult, you force him to back, he's going right back into the lane.
Well, for having no MR, that was like no damage.
Yeah. Yeah, one magic mantle. I mean, he's not taking anything.
It's kind of ridiculous. Like, yeah, that right there. I liked the idea of the engage, but I don't think it's something you can actually do right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked Falcon to grab a little bit more on the map, knowing that the Drake is on soul point still for INT, and that is like a win condition for them. I would have liked to see them break the outers, at least that top outer, try to get some gold, because I mean the gold difference actually isn't all that much right now.
I completely agree with you. Right now, FEC is sitting like we're talking about them up like they might be winning this game. This is still anyways game, and honestly, In the Trees can come back from this really hard, especially if they manage to get Ocean Soul.
Of course, of course.
Right, because basically what we've got right now is the FEC is. They're doing really well on the fights, but you've got Gangplank up there pushing that top wave so hard, he's going to at least hit tier 2 turret, if not take it during this dragon fight.
Yeah, it's like as the game goes later on, it's going to take more coordinated team play from Falcon rather than just good positioning from INT, because their champions kind of just scale up and they have hyper carries.
They're pulling the Drake out. They didn't quite pull it out enough, so they're pulling it out only halfway.
They're banking on the steal.
Look at this. They're banking on the steal from Bow Explode right here. Look at all that damage coming out, but Red Team
Wild
takes
West!
time. There we go. Way to go, Wild West Wild, as he brings the pain. But in the meantime, we've got Gangplank on the top lane taking yet another turret.
It looks like, wow.
That is going to be 2 turrets over to INT just for 1 Drake, and so they're still not even on soul point. And like that, you can't let Broccoli do that. If you let him push, he will base race you to a death.
Yeah, I mean, you're really just trying to make sure that INT doesn't get soul point. A good look from Beshi to notice that Bow Explode had jumped into that pit and kind of just knock him out, not allowing him to get the steal. Wild West, of course, lands the smite, secures the Drake. 5 more minutes before INT can go for another one of their infamous steals, but I mean, at least the inhibitor's not gone. It was just 2 towers.
Yeah, inhibitor's not gone. We do have another objective popping up here in another minute as Baron comes back online. Broccoli is once again going to be looking to this top wave. He's just going to keep pushing it out and pushing it out and pushing it out until eventually he takes that inhibitor. And I feel like that's kind of INT's win condition right now. You put Gangplank in a side lane, you let them keep on pushing like crazy because they can affect the fight with their ulti. Doesn't matter where. And it's going to still put out a lot of damage.
Of course. I wanted to ask you a little bit about this this Gangplank build. Do Gangplanks normally build Tiamat?
So I'm personally not a lot of top lane on my end either. So in regards to the Tiamat, I can see it, especially when you're going for that wave clear. It's not uncommon. The Trinity Force and Sterex are definitely like a regular build. Though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I guess for your third item, he's probably going Titanics. No, probably Ravenous.
Yeah.
Probably Ravenous Hydra.
We're going to see in this next fight, if the ADCs get to duke it out, probably around this Baron, we're probably going to see the disparity in the damage that Kenny has in comparison to Paytime. As Paytime's picked up his third item, and Kenny in that last back has actually picked up the QSS. Yeah, much needed, but it's really going to stun his damage.
And you know what's absolutely hilarious, though, is the fact that he actually has no kills. He has only gotten assists this game.
Yes, sir, but he is a bounty, a fat one at that.
Exactly. So we've got the QSS for Ezreal and the Spell Shield for Camel Basil. I do like both of those pickups just because there's so much CC on the side of in the trees, especially with the Cassiopeia slow. That QSS is going to make him immune to that.
Oh!
Flashing over the cage. We've got a nice ulti coming up from Gragas, but that's not going to matter as Wild takes down Bow Explode. We got the fight continuing as Ezreal just getting a lot of poke damage on the backline. Look at that, the explosion. Paytime picking up his first kill. He takes down Evolve Noob. Haps is chasing down Broccoli in the top lane, and they're just going to turn around and go for this Baron.
Oh, that's heartbreak for INT. Barely getting some vision in. Bow Explode gets a little antsy like last time. Tries to flash in, make the hero play, but I mean, walks right into the damage. Just Haps knocks him up. Wild West, wise about it, just ults, stacks the CC on Bow Explode, and Evolve Noob and Bow Explode just get blown up in that fight.
Exactly, and then there was that moment where Cassiopeia got caught by the Veigar cage just on the edge of it. It looked like they were on the bottom of the hitbox.
Heartbreak.
It was so much heartbreak because you know that's the moment right there. Alistair going for the dive on He Who Slops, doesn't manage to pick it up. does get out, takes a lot of damage. Look at that damage coming out. The heal popping out from Ezreal to keep Beshi alive as Kenny almost manages to pick up a kill.
Man, Beshi's got to chill out, man. He's got mad cow disease, I swear.
He may have mad cow disease, but he's definitely backing up with those huge cajones. All right. So what was I saying before? Oh yeah, the poor Cassio getting caught out by that. That was they saw their life flash right before their eyes as that Ezreal Q was coming in right for their face.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what Falcon does with this. The Drake is going to be spawning in 50 seconds, so probably just end up prepping some waves. They're kind of just letting Broccoli just stack this wave on top lane, kind of threaten them on the top side. I'm actually surprised, considering he does have TP and that inhibitor is bare. No one's up there to like kind of just match him, but I think Falcon is going to look for just an explosive fight right off the bat. As I eat those words as they send up the Malphite top lane to go answer him.
They are sending Malphite top to go answer, but both he and Gangplank have TP, so both of them can come to this battle at a moment's notice. They're probably just looking to keep Brock Lee from getting that free inhibitor for going for this Drake and pushing this wave out. Because here's what's going to happen. They're going to start this fight, and Haps is probably going to TP down. When that happens, we've got Brock Lee who's just going to drop his ulti and then go for the inhibitor. And so it's going to then be a fight for soul point on the side of Falcon, and then the actual soul on the side of in the trees. Bow Explode looking for that edge. They're looking for Wild West Wild right now. They're just trying to suss him out before he has a chance to drop that ulti on their heads.
Yeah, I mean, you see Wild West just sitting in the back, Paytime just poking him out, INT is just getting forced further and further back into a choke where they have no vision of.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we've got Brock Lee and Haps duking it out a little bit. They're both not really doing a lot of damage to each other. Brock Lee is a little bit lower than Haps at the moment, as he just gets kind of scared out of the top wave, which we've got Bo sitting right there on the side. We got the huge ulti coming out as a stun into the cage as Beshi just knocked him in there. Look at that.
A little bit scary for Wild West, I'm sure, but I mean, gets the smite.
That was super clean, super easy for them to pull off. They knew what was happening. They knew where Bo was, and I love that Beshi.
Oh, he slaps. Oh, man. Oh my God.
We got that was.
My man's walking the tightrope.
That fancy footwork coming out to keep He Who Slops alive.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, man, that was just absolutely nasty. And I think this is kind of going to be, I don't want to say it's the last hurrah, but it definitely looks like Falcon is taking control of this game. They've got 3 Ocean Drakes on their side. They're about to try and go for that Ocean Soul here in the next 5 minutes. But this game has been absolutely ridiculous.
It's been quite the roller coaster, Sherrigan. Oh, my God, Kenny.
Kenny taking so much damage from that arcane ship, powered arcane ship. That tower stands absolutely no chance.
I mean, the damage is just too much from that Sheen on Ezreal. It's just... They're really feeling the hurt. Falcon Esports not even using their Baron Bush to push these waves. Just regular waves and just damage. It's too much. INT is just in a daze. They don't know what to do.
You've got the RNT, the armor pen coming out from Ezreal. That is a nice knockback, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. We get a 3-man knockup coming out from Beshiwap. That is a huge Ezreal ulti. As Camel Basil does manage to take the blue inhibitor. Cage does come out. It goes on to Broccoli, who just has shields for days. Doesn't really matter. Kenny Hammerspike getting chunked as he just takes a huge SQ to the face. Doesn't really matter, though, as they're just going to kind of basically walk this off. Evolve Noob kind of walking into the cage, but not taking a lot of damage. There's a lot of shielding coming out from in the trees that is blocking a lot of this damage, but it's just not where you need it.
Yeah, I mean, Wu is just trying to salvage these fights with their shield. She saw what happens when she gets close and personal with the Ezreal. Kind of just taking a step back. I mean, Falcon Esports kind of just playing it safe. They're probably going to end up waiting for the next Drake. Maybe try to finish one more fight. We'll see how this plays out. Yeah, I mean, but it looks pretty dire for INT.
It looks super dire for INT. FEC is basically, this is their game to lose at this point. They are 13 kills to 2, and they have more towers. The gold lead is almost a 10k difference. You're just 3,000 short. And there's so much bounty on the side of FEC. Look at that Vagar bounty.
Yeah, I mean, 8 and 2. I mean,
And for a 107 Ezreal, 450 gold?
I mean,
Like,
it's quite ridiculous. Paytime is putting in the work, man. Change his name to Overtime. This guy is putting in the work.
That he definitely is. So right now, we're setting up over by the Baron. This is what I expected FEC to do. They're going to go pressure this Baron, probably try and force yet another fight, and at that point, it's going to be their decision. Do they go for the Baron or do they go for the win? Bo is putting himself in a huge disadvantage because Ezreal can basically throw blind Qs over the wall. Doesn't matter who he hits, he's just going to chunk a huge portion of their health.
Yeah, you can see INT kind of just fighting their way in. They're just totally blind, trying to fight for vision. But as they come into these chokes, it's really dangerous.
It really is. There's not a lot of spot for them to go.
Mouse in a trap.
Getting caught in the cage, getting knocked up. He has to go golden just to stay alive. We've got the Gangplank ulti down as well, but it's not going to really matter for poor Bo. Or it doesn't matter. It does matter.
What?
We've got a golden Wild West Wild diving in and getting that Fiddlesticks ulti. Ez picking up another kill as they take down Kenny Hammerspike, and this could very well be game.
Yeah, I mean, you see Alistair trying to push out those waves. Camel!
Oh, he's trying to get away. Poor Broccoli just manages to
run away, Commodore, run away. I'll let you live.
Yep. And right here, you've got the huge push coming now. This is just they're just gonna push this in, and I think they could probably end it right here. Just take these towers, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's probably just an end angle. I mean,
yep, knock up. Then he's
stuck.
caged. There's just too much CC for one orange, my friend. You gotta get more vitamin C in your diet than just one orange, and that is going to be an easy win for FEC as we've got Veigar going golden on the fountain.
Yeah, I mean, what looked like a game, it was in INT's hands. I mean, Falcon Esports just builds up their advantage and plays to their comp better.
They really did. Well, so I don't think it's just playing to their comp so much as FEC realizing what tools they had in order to shut down In the Trees' comp. Because the best example I can give is, I hate Gangplank, like I said, but what they did this game is exactly how you shut him down. You have champions with multiple sources of CC that you can just stack on him. So then it doesn't matter that he ate an orange and escaped your first chain because he's already locked into the second and third.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like a lot of this game was chalked up to the bot lane diff. That, so to speak, I mean, a lot of these advantages that Falcon were getting and a lot of the map pressure they were getting, it was due to Beshi Wap. Making these roams, getting these vision controls, playing these chokes, even like denying Bo these steals by checking the vision brushes whenever he tried to steal in these back brushes, like the last 2 times he attempted to steal. I mean, he's just a monster, and he who swaps is going to have to level up a little bit next time they play.
Yeah. Can we pull up the KDAs real quick for this? Because I want to see something real fast. Let's see. On the side of FEC, 3 members had no deaths whatsoever, and 1 of them had no kills. I just want to point something out. Ezreal had the most damage dealt, and they only picked up 3 kills and 10 assists. That is ridiculous, and that is an absolutely insane number.
Of course. I mean, it goes to speak that KDA doesn't mean everything. At the end of the day, when your damage output is high, you have good enough CS numbers, you're contributing damage to these fights, and you're keeping the deaths low. I mean, that's better than any 31-10 KDA, but you're griefing your team.
Yeah, because so many of those fights, what was ending up happening was he got the members of In the Trees low enough, but he didn't force the chase, so they were able to go away and heal up, but it didn't matter because they were able to secure whatever objective it was they were trying to fight him off for. Haps did such a fantastic job. So many good ultis that just either they resulted in a kill or they resulted in a lot of disruption on the side of In the Trees, to where he was able to stop a lot of Bo trying to get in and steal stuff. Which, I mean, they let him have 2, which I think is 2 more than they should have let him have.
I kind of just handed over on a silver platter, but I mean, they roped it back in on the back of Paytime and Beshi.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I do want to point out is that we had yet another Vayne pickup that just didn't do anything during the game. Like, it just wasn't able to come online. And I think that's actually something that needs to be taken into account by a lot of the teams in the Heroic League, just because of the fact that I don't know if it's the positioning of these players or if it's a more of a, how do you say, team comp coordination, where you need to make sure that your Vayne is in a good spot and getting peeled for.
I think it's a little bit of the both. From this game in particular, I think that the comp wasn't really set up for the Vayne. It was just in this weird spot where you pick the Lulu like B3 in the first rotation, and you need to pick a hyper carry to facilitate that Lulu pick. But in your your top laner and your jungler, you didn't pick anything that can frontline. Or just kind of just disrupt. There's if this Vayne doesn't have anything in front of, like if the Malphite was on the other team, I could see this game swinging in a much better way.
Absolutely, yeah. If you don't have a front line, it's so hard for your ADC to work it out. With that, though, I think we're probably going to go ahead and take a quick break right here. Don't go away. We'll be right back with an interview. Stick around.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth with the interview with Camel Basil from Falcon Esports. How you feeling after that win?
Feeling pretty solid after that win, to be honest.
It was certainly a banger. You guys put a statement game on a team that's actually was higher than you coming into this game, now tied. I want to talk to you a little bit first about the plan coming into this game. You have a very, very spicy draft with the Fiddlesticks coming in. Also, I mean, Veigar is kind of uncommon going into that matchup with the Cassiopeia. Talk to me a little bit about this draft and especially your role in it, playing the Vigor.
Okay, so Fiddle was left open, and our team wanted to see if we could try it out because we were looking to do it since the Hecarim nerfs and all. Well, not really the Hecarim nerfs, the tank item nerfs for the jungle. And then for my pick, since I was last pick, pretty sure they picked Cassiopeia first, right?
I think it was earlier than yours, yeah.
Yeah, so actually with the Cassiopeia matchup as Vigar, it is Vigar favored because simply if you just cage or you stay back, she can't run up to EU, but her Q range is like longer than your abilities, so the only way she can get onto you if she Qs you and then just runs you down. But you shouldn't really do that.
So you like your odds basically.
Yeah.
I mean, you're certainly a slippery little bastard in that game. I gotta be honest, dude. Talk to me about this great escape on the bottom side of the map.
I'm pretty sure GP trolled because I'm pretty sure he stopped because I don't know. I like need to see the replay of that, but I'm pretty sure he stopped at one point. He could have kept on running towards me. I'm pretty sure he stopped for like a split second because he thought the kill was secured.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I know that it looked like he was trying his best. Like he stopped even and like put the barrel and tried to get the trial by fire passive to like speed up. I don't know. I would have to watch it back too. He was certainly tilted, certainly 45-degree angle after that one. So good on you for getting out of that. And it's sort of embarrassing what was otherwise thought to be a good play from Broccoli. So well done.
His ankles got broken out though.
Exactly, dude. As Nick was saying on the broadcast, you had those Black Air Force Ones on. Absolutely slaying out there. Talk to me about your team, though. As I talked about earlier, you guys were down, just one match in this. Now you tie up with In the Trees, and you guys are really displaying to these teams in this league that you are on the upward trend, especially with such a slapdown of a team that is now your peer at is it 5-3? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And so talk to me about how you feel about your team and your position in the league.
I feel like my team's like really good. I feel like we could easily be like, well, I feel like we can be like the top ranked team, and our support in that game, he got he went everywhere on the map and he got everyone ahead. So yeah, shout out to like Alfonso. And we have our coach Kyrie, like he's making the team better like after every match and after like every scrim. So I think we're in a good position to be like solidified for like at least like top 3 team in the power rankings.
There you go. I hope they're listening out there watching. I mean, for sure, Beshi was absolutely cracked this game. At the very end of the game, he managed to ruin his 100% kill participation. Unlucky. But I guess just a bit of a support diff in that regard. It happens. But yeah, definitely good to hear the faith that you have in your teammates and the coaching that you're getting. And certainly the other teams that are around you towards the top of the standings are going to have to take you a lot more seriously. And fear after you smack down, like I say, In the Trees, who is been a boogeyman in the league for so long. Camel Basil, I want to thank you so much for joining us for an interview. If you have any final words.
Honestly, it was a sup diff.
Sup diff.
Huge.
Boom.
That's all I gotta say for that game.
Easy. And the
Alistair. And ADC gap.
It was a bot differs for sure.
Yeah, definitely bot differs.
Well, Ezreal's just kind of broken. Just shouts out to Fang over Fang, pointing out that Vayne a little too much attention down here in Heroic. Maybe just play Ezreal, get 2 flashes. Spield's cheap as hell. Try it out. All right, folks. Thanks again to Camel Basil for joining us. We'll be back very soon with Game 4 for Heroic today. Don't touch that browser. We'll be right back. Cool.
performs on the beat.